What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Romy from Rogue Sheep YGO. I'm here just before the YCS. Just want to show you guys a few tips and if I did play, what my deck list would look like. So one thing I do want to point out, and if you could, please smash the like and subscribe button. But I'm going to get right into it. I do want to point out the deck does have, it's a great deck when it pops off, but it had flaws. Hence why you see me running these Cash Terra cards. I think this engine helps for two reasons. One, it gives you that extra, so if you get Ash, at least you have some kind of interruption, because this deck, if you can play on the next turn, like if you can keep Flare in hand, which is something that I do. So one thing you can do is, like, if you use Flare and, you know, there's a chance your opponent can Ash you and you don't have any follow-up, I would try to discard something else with him, or with your Clown Crew Rehearsal, so we can keep him in hand for the next turn. That's why I always try to keep him in hand if I, unless I really need the extra draw off of Matinee, because I want to keep this for follow-up just in case. But these Cash Terra monsters like Unicorn are so good right now, just going into people's extra decks and clearing things out, clearing Zaylin in the Cool Tune match, or ripping out like Mirror Jades or things that you would think would be a problem in Branded, and even in Doom Z, hitting their boss monsters. So yeah, Unicorns would put in insane amounts of work. Also, like so your opponent ashes you on any of your spells, you just get to look at their extra deck and at least be able to play a little bit in the grind game. So, and I did switch the Prep of Rights for the Nouvelle package. It's the Nouvelle package. I don't think it's wrong, and there's a place where it's definitely great. But if your only argument is going to be Droll, which is at 2, it's your 2 Drolls versus my my Called By, my Cross Out. So that's 2 for 2 right there, and my Shifter. So it's your 2 Drolls versus my 3 ways to make sure that you don't have Droll or can activate Droll. So that's kind of how I look at that. Also, I'm playing Cash Terra, so I'm not going to activate those cards in the draw phase because I want to be able to summon these guys. And like I said, they've been coming in a lot. You can use Fenrir to go get Unicorn, if need be. And what you can do is that's extra fodder that you have to tribute off of Flare or for Clown Crew Rehearsal, which, guys, is one of the reasons I'm not playing Purges or Imperms, is because you have to be able to play monsters in this deck to have for tribute. So 3 Ash, 3 Bianca Viso. I think that's pretty accurate. 1 Shifter. Card's just insane. Just helps you in a ton of matchups. I would shotgun it in the standby in most matchups. That way with Branded, they don't even get a chance to use the white Albaz to send to the graveyard. 2 Droll, 3 Veiler, 3 Bell. The reason I'm maxing out on Bell is because there's the Cool Tune that tributes itself to special summon 1 and then add the other back to hand. And if they don't get a chance to, fix my top deck or look at my hand, I want to make sure I have this Bell here, or any chance I can to get to Bell and then stop that, because that's won me so many games. Just being able to have Bell to stop that guy. I put 2 Nib in here. I think, like, Nib's pretty slept on this format, but it's good, like I said, just to break people down, because we can keep playing as long as your traps live. We can keep playing, and also you can actually just tribute summon him with this, which is kind of funny. So it's not a terrible card to have. The rest of this really needs no explanation from one Vanity's Fiend. Engine. Like I said, Prepper Rights. You could play the other one. I see pros to each, but I don't think it's end of the world. There was a couple times where I had the spell and the monster in my hand for the Nouvelle stuff, so it was just like dead cards in my hand. Pretty terrible. Raysoth is actually, I could play extra copies of the Cash Terra monsters, but this deck has a little bit of trouble pushing for game, and it might sound crazy, but getting that little buff. You've got 3 different monsters here, different attributes, so it's just kind of nice. 2 Super Poly. I wasn't on this before, but it's just too good. Like, literally, I played a Branded player, and you see I'm on Drago Stapelia. I literally turned off his whole board with 1 Super Poly, so that was super nice. And I was able to shuffle everything back with Diabolo. I know I'm kind of ranting, but I'm just, I know the event's coming. I want you guys to be able to see this. So Diabolo, just so you know, if you're playing against Branded, you can just use this guy and, like, literally just shuffle back every card they have, and it doesn't trigger Mirror Jade. Side deck, Contact C. I just want to select Cool Tunes the deck to beat. You can beat every other deck, engine for engine, but you know, that deck you have to slow down because it's just not fair. It's too broken. Book of Eclipse also been putting in work. Like when you use this, even same thing, branded, you flip everything face down. Cool tune. It's just they have to respond to it. So it just trades with them pretty well. Duster, no explanation. I'd like to play more back row. Hey, 3 Mistaken Arrest. This card's actually insane. You can draw it in your end phase and then use it, and you can still draw cards on their turn. You just cannot add to hand. So just make sure you're ready to play the next turn before activating this, because like you can get into a grindy game and then like activate this, and like you need to add cards to your hand next turn. You can't because you're under Mistaken Arrest. Just keep that in mind. I played 1 Dragon's Mine. It's basically just another judgment that you can use while you have Unicorn or Bianca Viso on field. You could tag that out with any of these, but the accusations have just been too insane. And of course, 1 Judgment, 2 Diabolo the Fusion, super good. Remember, he does double piercing, that can definitely come up. Garura, always fun to tribute. Make him, then tribute to get double draws with Bianca Viso. Super Poly Target and Mud. Nerva, for those who aren't sure why we play this. If you have just the spell in any hand trap, you can go activate Clown Crew Malbarisme. Probably butchered that, but activate this. You gotta make sure you bring out Flare in another name. Probably the XYZ that gets you to spell access. Turn your Flare into a Linkuriboh, so that way you have 2 different types on field. And then just summon any one of your hand traps, which is why another good reason to max out on these. Summon any one of them. Then you tribute all 3 to summon this. Now you got a 3300 beater, and you just tributed your guy who gets you the spells, and now you can start playing a little bit and go get your rehearsal. Let's see here. We have Super Poly Target, 2 of these guys. There's a pretty good combo you can do. You can do with him to get Flare back in your hand on your turn 1 to ritual summon the Flare, and you'll have a Linkuriboh in the graveyard. That's why I place Secure Gardener, because I'm turning the Linkuriboh into Secure Gardener, so I got Linkuriboh in the graveyard for my opponent's turn. You're going to tribute the Linkuriboh, or you're going to tribute your Flare that's on board to summon Linkuriboh, and that tribute, not only going to get you a draw if Matinee's live, is going to book your opponent's monster face down. So just remember that, guys. You can banish this rehearsal and summon Clown Crew Flare. So normally I'll do that. I would do like the normal combo, but I'll summon Meteor and Flare. Oh, this is if I have access to Matinee already. Then I'll summon Flare in the synchro. Summon Bianca Viso, and then add Flare back to hand. And if I have the Matinee, that's when you're going to go ahead and bring out Diabolo. And then you're going to banish this spell, tribute Diabolo, summon Flare, set the trap off of Diabolo, and then, or Diabolo, set the trap, and then you're going to have a Flare on board, and basically your full combo. And then like, you can tribute the Linkuriboh also on your opponent's turn when they attack, and you're going to get a draw from that too. So it's actually pretty insane. I've done that a couple times. So remember that. You can tribute the Linkuriboh, either for summon or for its effect, and get an additional draw off of that. Also reminds me of a game I played my opponent earlier. A lot of Cool Tune Synchro monsters, they tribute for their effect. So make sure you watch for that, because that also got me a draw on their end phase. Omega, because I was playing Lambda. This could probably be Little Knight. You're probably never ever going to make it, but you actually can make this with your Kashtira monsters and a Veiler. So if your hand's super solid and you want to try to snipe an Ash Blossom and you have these in a Veiler, you could technically do that. 2 Fiends, Typhon, and these 2. So another thing I did want to mention is the quick tip. If you have access to your rehearsal already and you think you can play around Ash, I do want to remind you guys that Clown Crew Flare, you can always, especially if you're playing like a striker deck, a back row deck, or you just want some more draws, you can go Flare, search new face, discard new face, and then the new face will place itself. Also, going into, if you play against Mitsurugi, which you may, you can, first off, Flare just kills that deck. Um, Almost clears everything, especially if they don't know what this deck does. But if you have New Face in hand, you can literally just use this as your discard to for the gosh, what's the guy's name? The boss monster, whatever his negate is, where you have to discard for hand. Um, you can discard this, and then you just place it back on your field, so you don't neg at all. Um, so yeah, there is that. But yeah, what I would do is if you play into that matchup, you literally just like try to tribute Flare and chain block with something, one of your other monsters, or bait what they have. But this card's just gonna shuffle back their whole board, and they're not gonna be able to use Habakiri again because he was once per duel. But that's it, guys. I appreciate it. Check it out. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will be live here on YouTube all day, so I can answer those questions. And yeah, sorry I had to rush this one, but until the next one.